welcome to this episode of the Keto Vegan. In today's episode, I am going to make raspberry cream pie, which is keto. I found this recipe online somewhere, adapted it a tiny bit. It's really popular. I hope you enjoy it. The base ingredients are 70 grams of almond flour, 30 grams of unsweetened cocoa powder. I'm using green and blacks, organic. 2 tablespoons of sugar-free sugar. You can see I'm using the Truvia for baking caster there. And 55 grams, actually I've put 60 grams of unsalted butter melted. So what I've decided to do, I've lined the bottom of an 8-inch springform tin that I've borrowed from my son. Thank you, Jack. I had a 9-inch one that was far too big. And I've mixed the base together. I'm going to press that in and then I'm going to put it into a preheated oven. And yes, I actually remembered to turn my oven on, preheating it to 160 degrees centigrade. So you press the base mix into the tin, make it as even as possible. Then you put it in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes until the edges are just slightly crisp and the center is a little bit puffed. For the filling, I'm using 225 grams of cream cheese that's softened, so I've left that out for a while. I'm using the Violife. Then I need 200 mils of heavy cream, double cream. I'm using the Oatly Whippable. 2 tablespoons of the sugar-free sugar. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a whole sachet of this vegan sugar-free raspberry flavour gel dessert. I got that online. There'll be a link underneath so you can get it from Amazon. Quarter of that needs to be dissolved in water. Obviously I'll work out how much, so in hot boiling water, and the instructions will tell you to do it a certain amount, but only use a little bit of water because it really needs to set. The mistake I made first time was that I followed the instructions on the original recipe, didn't use enough jelly, used too much water, and the whole thing didn't set. It was disastrous. Tasted good, very sloppy. So what I've done, I'm going to use a whole sachet and a small amount of hot water to mix in with the cream and the cream cheese, so it still does set really well. And then I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence, and I found these, because we're in the UK, we can't get sugar-free chocolate. So I found these online, or did I? Or are they from Waitrose? I think they're online. These are vegan and chocolate chips and less sugar, more flavour. And the carb count on that is, I can't see, I haven't got my glasses on. Let me zoom in and see if I can see through the camera. So what are they? Can anybody see yet? I can't see still, because I know what I'll do. I'll put my glasses on. That's a clever idea, Rach. Okay, so, because they were right beside me. Carbs, 21 grams, sugars, 17 grams. Fibre, proteins 10 grams, fibres 11 grams. So if you're doing it that way, you can take off the fibre from that carb count. And oh look, that's still really blurry, sorry about that. And do it that way. But obviously you're not going to have the whole 100 grams. And how many? It's 100 grams of sugar-free chocolate chips. And obviously you're not going to eat the whole pie. This pie serves 12, so you divide that by 12, as long as you don't eat the whole pie. The base has had its 12 to 13 minutes in the oven. That looks pretty good. It looks very similar to how it looked when it went in. You can't really tell, but it smells cooked. It smells good. And then what I've got here, I've got lots of white stuff in there. This is the cream cheese, the double cream, the sugar-free sugar, 2 tablespoons of that, and a teaspoon of vanilla essence. I'm now going to beat that with a handheld mixer, and then I'm going to make the jelly now. There's the jelly powder, and I'm going to put the boiling water in that so it's got a bit of time to cool and set. I'm going to use this hand mixer. It says beat it, not whisk it. Beat it until it's all smooth in there, and then you can see I've made that jelly. It's absolutely thick and solid. That's absolutely perfect though, so the whole mix will set. Once I've made this smooth, then you add the jelly a little bit at a time. So I beat that until it was smooth. Can't really see great there. Let's move it so it's better light. Okay, so, and I've just dolloped the jelly in there. You can see that. That is going to take some more beating. I will let you see what it looks like once I've beaten that. So you can see that I've beaten that. It's a lovely pink colour, and you can see it is a bit lumpy with the texture of the jelly and the cream cheese and everything, but that is all really good. I'm now going to fold in the chocolate chips. So I've used these chocolate chips that I bought specially, but what I used to do before I found these chocolate chips, I would get the lowest carb dark chocolate from the supermarket. I'd then break it all up, smash it all up, cut it up, and just pour that in. But these are looking pretty good. I'll wonder what they taste like. So I'm just going to fold those in. So I'm now going to pour that onto this. So there it is in the springform tin. I'm now going to put it in the fridge for as long as I possibly can. I'm actually going to top this with some grated dark chocolate and raspberries. You can put cream on the top or pipe cream around it with raspberries as well. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so in addition to that, I'm also going to make some Antwerp sprouts. Now, had no idea what these were called. We just used to call them Bacon Brussel Sprouts because I made this ages ago, many Christmases ago. My kids absolutely love them, but now I've obviously gone vegan. So all it is, you get some frozen sprouts. They're so much easier than fresh sprouts. I know people do fresh sprouts. Frozen sprouts, you just chuck them in the hot water and they boil 5 minutes, they're ready. And so then I'm going to fry off some This Isn't Bacon lardons. Once they're cooked, I'm going to add mustard. Now, it should all be English mustard, but my son texted me earlier, he's got a dinner party that I'm going to, which is why I made the raspberry cream pie, saying, oh my God, he'd forgotten to do the vegan version of the Bacon Brussel Sprouts. Can you bring some, Mum? I said, I'll see what I've got. And of course, I've always got the bacon lardons in the freezer. I bought some sprouts for when I'm doing it at Christmas, which is a couple of weeks away. And I've got some English mustard, but not much in there. And so I'm going to use Dijon as well. And I'm going to finish the cream that I didn't use in the raspberry cream pie and another whole carton of the Oatly. And I forgot to say, I'm going to fry the bacon in olive oil, which is in there. You can see it a little bit. The bacon lardon's been frying, just getting a little bit crisp. And then I add the mustard. So the English mustard, when you add that, is pretty thick and it solids everything up really, really quickly. But the Dijon mustard I used didn't behave the same way. So you can see I've added the end of that first carton of Oatly and added some more, just stirring that in now, making sure it's mixing really well. So that had been cooking a little while, and you can see it's actually quite pale in colour. Normally when I use just English mustard, it's much yellower, and the sauce is thicker, as I said, something about the English mustard. So your sprouts have cooked, you've strained those, drained those, and just pour the sauce over the top, making sure you get all those lardons in there. And believe me, this will make you want to eat sprouts. I know, who'd have thought? So just mix that up, and then what you can do, you can pre-cook this even the next day. I find it actually reheats really, really well. So just put a lid on it, put it in the fridge, and then put it in the oven to reheat when it's ready. And also, if it's quite a thin sauce like that one, it will thicken up a little bit. So you can see that's the photo that I sent to my son saying, yes, I've done the sprouts for you, darling. And here's the final cream pie, raspberry cream pie at the dinner party, cut in. You can see that it's quite soft. The chocolate chips, the ones I'd never used before, were so good. And at £5 a bag, they really should be. The links for various items that I used today in the cooking are all below in the details in the show notes. I'd love it if you shared about my podcast. Also, let me know what you want more of. Do you want more recipes? Do you want more interviews, more solo content? Get in touch and let me know. My details are underneath. And please, I'd love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel and also followed on the podcast that you're listening to. Have a fabulous day, and I'll see you next week.